Alrighty, you guys, today we're making jam blossoms and they are delicious. And your family is gonna be wowed if you do it properly and watch the video. Today we have yeast. Make sure you have dry active yeast. This is what the container looks like, and they come in smaller ones. You got a 1/4 cup of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of shortening, 1 egg, 3 to 4 cups of flour. Remember, never ever add all the flour at once when you're baking bread. Now remember, you just barely want to turn on your oven for the resting and proofing stage. You want that yeast to do its work, eat all the sugars, and get nice and poofy with carbon dioxide. So in your bowl, you want 1 tablespoon of yeast, tablespoon, not teaspoon, and you want your 1/4 cup of sugar. Remember, this makes the yeast produce carbon dioxide. And now we add 1 1/4 cup of very warm water. It says, wake up yeast and start eating that sugar to produce the carbon dioxide. We're gonna let that yeast start foaming up for about 5 minutes. Now, if it doesn't foam up, your yeast is not good. So you're gonna have to go get another jar. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, our yeast is foamy, it's getting thick, and a tell sign that it's good is it starts to stink. But that's okay. That's what it's supposed to do. And this just happened, trying to get my iPad all set up. Excellent. Next, add the salt and the shortening. You want to make sure your water is still nice and warm when you add that shortening so it melts. Whenever you make bread, you guys, never ever add the full amount of flour that the recipe says all at once. Always start with a cup at a time. I'm just using old-fashioned all-purpose flour. It's starting to get sticky after 2 cups of flour. Okay, I added my egg. This is what it starts to look like, ooey gooey. And now I'm gonna add 1 more cup of flour to bring it to a total of 4. Now after 4 cups of flour, it starts to come off the bowl and go around and around that paddle attachment. So that's when we know we need to add the hook attachment for kneading. And if you don't have this KitchenAid mixer, that's fine. You just take it out of the bowl and knead it up. Alrighty guys, 4 cups of flour. It's still a little tacky and sticky, but that's okay because I have floured my counter and I'm going to knead it. You fold, you press it with the heel of your hand and turn. Fold, press, turn, fold, press, turn. After kneading for about 5 minutes, fold, press, turn, fold, press, turn. Fold it, press it, turn it, and just keep doing that for a solid 10 minutes. You know what I love when I make bread and I'm kneading it for a long time is that I can already hear the gas bubbles starting to form in the dough. So when I'm pressing it really hard like that, I can hear them popping. I'm doing such a good job. I'm actually getting a workout. I'm really getting a workout. All right, I'm done working out for 10 minutes. So what you guys want is a nice, soft, smooth dough ball. Now remember, we don't want any creases in that dough or else it's gonna dry out. So you want it nice and smooth, no creases, crease side down, pinch those in together, and then we're gonna oil this bowl, swish it around, cover it with a damp tea towel and put it in the oven that has been turned off so it's just slightly warm. We're just gonna let that rest for about 20 minutes in a nicely warmed oven, turned off. So guys, rule of thumb when you're baking bread is you always want it to rise until it's double the size, and then you punch her down, deflate it, and then we are going to shape it. Alrighty, I took my dough out and I pressed it on some parchment paper on a pizza pan. If you guys have a large cookie sheet, you can do that too. You want to actually press it bigger than the cookie sheet because right away we're going to make our slits for our braids. This dough is actually amazing. So I actually took it off the pizza pan, kept it on the parchment paper, and you can do that too. And I just pressed it even bigger. So you're gonna have a bigger blossom. Put a teacup in the middle and let's start making our 24 slashes. So you just wanna go 24. What I suggest is marking them first and then making your cuts. Keeping that intact in the middle. So we're just doing some math here. If we're turning it into quarters, we need 24 slashes. So each quarter is going to have 6 slashes, 3 braids. So again, 5 slashes, so just mark them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you see that's not right, you just kind of pat it down and do it again. Make sure they're even, or else each braid isn't going to cook the same. So this is fairly large. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now you just slice all the way to the cup. You have to leave that center intact. That's like the middle of our flower, our beautiful jam flower. And braid. Outside, inside, outside, inside. However your brain works it, just try it out. If that's too confusing for some of you fellas, give it a good whirl, and if not, you can twist them as well. So you take your outside strands, cross, outside, cross, outside, cross, outside, cross, outside, cross, cross, outside, cross, 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 tuck it in. Beautiful. Keep going. So now your flower blossom, your beautiful jam blossom is coming to life. So now we want to take this, put it back onto the pizza pan. Alrighty, it's back on the pizza pan. It looks like some weird creature. So if you have a hard time putting it back on the pan, just be patient, just unwrinkle everything. And now what you guys want to do is take those braids and you want to curve them in onto the pan. So that's basically like the petals of your flower. Just like that. And you do that to all the braids, curve it in, kind of give it a little boop boop, a little boop boop. So here is our blossom. Now you guys want to just kind of arrange them so that the middles are kind of closed up. Just place them a little bit, make sure they're all closed up. And now you want to just brush with some melted butter. Brush with melted butter, and it goes back into the oven to proof. Now, proofing is the last stage. So basically what it is it's the last fermentation stage in the oven while it's shaped. Here we have our shape. It is shaped. Now, you really want to make sure it's brushed really well with melted butter because we don't want it to dry out while it's sitting in that nice warm environment for its last fermentation stage. And by fermentation, I mean the yeast. That is what's, again, eating the sugars and making that poof, that nice carbon dioxide poof, not carbon monoxide. That's very dangerous and can kill you, so carbon dioxide. Now you want to fill the center with some jam and each little flower petal with some jam. Just like this. Okay guys, that's what your lovely little jam blossom looks like. So you want to make sure you preheat your oven to 375 and bake it for about 20 to 25 minutes until your petals are lightly golden brown. Oh. You guys, I forgot to show you the finished product before people dug in. Here's what it looks like minus 2 pulls out. It looks really good. This was 25 minutes.